my name is Marquise Bryce, and this is my presentation of Are All African Americans Lactose Intolerant? Please forgive my small phone. So, most people in America think that you have to have a specific daily dairy intake. This is simply not true. This is a myth and a marketing scheme to get children to buy and drink more milk because it gives them strong bones. But it has never been scientifically proven. About 70 to 75% of African Americans are actually lactose intolerant. Most don't even know that they have this medical issue. Again, this is a food group that people are just used to eating from when they're a child, and then living in this kind of Western culture of eating also. This is just something that is very normal. I've been researching, that was my next one, sorry. I've been researching Dr. Milton Mills. He expresses his concerns with the issue in a lecture video on YouTube. The first thing that he states is the guidelines for daily dairy intake is a marketing scheme because again, it hasn't been proven. So he said that he would have patients that were mainly African American, and about 9 out of 10 of them were actually lactose intolerant. He would tell them to go ahead and take 2 weeks of no dairy, and then whenever they came back, they would discover, oh, well, you're lactose intolerant. And then he had a patient that said, oh, yes, I do know that I'm lactose intolerant, but the government has told me that I need to have this daily intake so that I can continue to be healthy. And he had to express to her that that just completely is not true. This statement that was said by this woman led me to think, do other people think this way? For me personally, I'm a rebel of government things, and I don't really listen to what they say about just different things because, you know, there's just so much information now in the world. So I just wonder if people know about that. So now we're gonna dive into why do African Americans have these dietary issues? The history tells us that, you know, we were brought to this country, we were only able to eat certain foods, we were only able to have certain foods. And in the midst of all that, you know, things are passed down to us, and dairy just wasn't one of those things. It is important to note that our ancestors have done certain things with their diet and things that have been passed down to us, and so has the Europeans. They were drinking milk and having these dairy products, so their ancestors and children that they have that gene or enzyme in them, and African American people don't have that enzyme in them to be able to digest milk. So an interesting fact, according to the National Digestive Diseases, there are 30 million to 5 million Americans that are lactose intolerant, but 75% of them are African American, which is a very, very large number. Yet the government still recommends these diets of dietary needs and all these things. Something that I want to point out is that to my audience is that I'm speaking of people, of African American people, but this affects people of color in general. Genuinely anyone that's not of European descent, again, because we're mainly brought from somewhere else. And I just said, why, what do you notice about all these things that everyone else is a different race and they're here in the westernized community with high fat calories, with milk that pumps everything. This slide says what group of people was taken and sold, just to show that, you know, again, we weren't from here. So Dr. Milton expresses some health issues with the government, suggesting that Black women are more likely to get ovarian cancer from consumption. African American men are more likely to get prostate cancer from milk consumption. And most of these things are fatal because again, African Americans don't have access to healthcare, so that's just another loop and everything. And if we dig a little deeper into medicine, we know that you can find issues with risks, and the government just needs money. Like we have to be sick to go to the hospital so that we can get the medicine, so that we can pay for this. So there's just a lot of things that just go into, oh, I have a health issue. Let me go to the doctor. I can't go to the doctor because I don't have any medical. Yeah. Here we go. So during this whole thing, what have I learned so far? I've learned that people of color have lactose issues. It comes from not having the ability to break down milk. It is proven that our ancestors did not consume that as they were coming about, which is why it's not in our genes. And we also know that the government markets off of suggesting what we should and should not consume. So during my thought process of all of these, there's several questions that I have that I'm learning about this issue, which is, what are the next steps? How can we make people more aware? And why is this not known? What other necessary health issues do we have? And am I lactose intolerant? After consuming my brain with all of these things, it was very overwhelming, but I think it was just like something that found me. I've always heard the jokes of like African-American people are lactose intolerant, but now I'm linking it to stories and history and science. Here we go. That's my brain overload. And then what did I learn today? This research project was very informational. It absolutely proves that we should be doing more food studies in the world, and understand our ancestors, understand why the government is ran the way it is. We can go to many avenues with this specific topic alone. And I just feel like, why not dive into really understanding the reason behind all these allegations and help people? The goal should be to keep people as happy and as healthy as possible. Thank you.